Jeden aus, dwa raz, dwa raz, raz, dwa raz, tak? Dobrze, nie ma problemu. Okej, tak, jasne. Natomiast może być git. Z tego co widzę, jest szansa, że to będzie działało. Natomiast jest strasznie cicho z jakiegoś powodu. Nie chcę dawać wszystkiego na full, ale może być taka potrzeba. Raz, dwa, trzy QW. Tak, przerzuciłem na full, ale no popatrz ile tego jest. Prawie zero, a mówię do mikrofonu tak już na hama, nie? Więc powinno być trochę lepiej. To. Teoretycznie powinny być wciśnięte, bo to jest line level. Tak mi powiedzieli. Audio out balanced. No to balans zakładam, że jest po wzmacniaczu. Raz, dwa, trzy, raz, dwa, trzy. Przed wzmacniaczu, zgadza się.
Żeby nie robić szumu wszędzie, to zróbmy na razie tak.
Raz, dwa, trzy QW. Na jedynkę, tak. To jest przede wszystkim, to jest to, co nas interesuje. Tak, no to wtedy jest super. Dobrze, czyli w takim razie możemy trochę pościszać jeszcze, żeby było jakkolwiek z zapasiku. Niebieski i niebieski w tym momencie, jeżeli będą rzeczy tak. Dokładnie, zgadza się. Co więcej, te białe też powinny być inne troszeczkę. Natomiast wtedy jak sobie zrobimy wszystko tak teraz, spryciarz, ale nie. Aha, to chcesz dwójkę na białe. No, masz rację. Ale nie, czekaj, bo wtedy dwójka i FX powinny być na tych, na niebieskich, masz rację. Te dwa nie. Te dwa powinien zająć miejscami, ale tak. Tak, no. Nie mam zielonego pojęcia. Wydaje mi się, że mówię do astrofazy, natomiast jeszcze nie dostałem od nich potwierdzenia, że oni dostają to, co powinni. Tak. Raz, dwa, trzy QW.
Ma kolega technika? Czy to nie?
Tak. Jak coś, to jest szansa... A, czekaj. Obydwaj są od nich, tak. Tak, zgadam, spokojnie. Raz, dwa, trzy QW.
Czy jest odchód, ale nie wiem jak jesteście zgadani.
Wydaje mi się, że u nas jest zesetowane OK. Teraz tylko muszę powiedzieć, czy jest sygnał. A. Ojej. Raz, dwa, trzy QW, raz, dwa, trzy QW. Jest szansa, że to będzie działało. No widzisz, ja zapomniałem, że Auxendy mają osobną linię poziomu.
Dokładnie.
No. A to jest bardzo ważna informacja w sumie, bo wtedy możemy mieć osobne miksy dla każdego z naszych docelowych streamów.
Na przykład muzyki powiedzmy tam, jeśli tutaj
Tak.
jakaś jest, albo coś w tym stylu, nie?
Tak.
Muzyki na właśnie
Dokładnie tak.
live'a.
Raz, dwa, trzy QW, raz, dwa, trzy. Sobie coś tam jeszcze patrzą.
Iść tam?
Raz, raz.
Strony, żeby tak końcu sprawdzić, albo przyjechać do Ciebie robotem, bo to na robotę nadajesz, tak?
Jeszcze nie. Ta robota nie jest zasetapowana, bo nie miałem źródeł. Nikt nic nie mówił, a nie
Rozumiem.
nie niczego.
A to z,
Więc ja czekam aż będzie. Tak, dokładnie.
Bo ten
Tak.
AUX 2 to jest nadajnik ten, tak?
AUX 2 jest nadajnik.
Oni
Tak.
wchodzą na godzinę,
Dobrze?
jak oni skończą, to jeszcze mamy godzinę technical preparation i zaczynamy
Okej.
komentarz.
Dobra, no ale jeżeli to działa tak jak Mikołaj mówi, a powinno tak działać, no to wtedy możemy od razu zaczynać. Jedna gałka i plaża. No.
Fajnie tu.
Tam jest jeszcze lepiej.
Kurde, ale
I
bym
Panter-
pojeździł.
No to będziemy jeździć, nie? Tylko myk jest taki, że trzeba ogarnąć...
Teraz wcześniej nie można.
Wydaje mi się, że nie będziemy mieli slotu wolnego, ale to jest do przegadania z sędziami.
Jakichś dzikich śladów, bo jednak Panther jest cięższy niż łaziki, albo przynajmniej bardziej taki...
Nie, oni mają limit 100 kg.
Mogę tobie zostać jakby ten?
Tak, ja tu zostanę spoko.
Będziemy się z Remko dogadać po angielsku, to się
Nie ma
dogadamy.
problemu.
Ja nie wiem, czy wiesz,
Git.
się
Git.
dogadują, nie?
Dobrze, nie ma problemu. I Panther robi robotę tak solidnie.
Nie wiem, tylko...
Ja też jeszcze nie. Natomiast
Wideo z kamery chyba Panther,
tak, tak, jest szansa. A nie. Oni generalnie bardzo mało mówią. Natomiast Panther robi bardzo dobrą robotę. Ludzie z AGH jak zobaczyli, to jest takie, o chłopaki z Husariona wiedzą co robią i poszli dalej. No.
Nie no, to my wiemy. Teraz mijałem właśnie z
No.
system, to się rozpętałem tak
No,
luźno, ale
bardzo
widziałem,
dobrze.
Widziałem, że gadali sobie z tym...
z Kubą?
Nie wiem, czy to rektor był, czy...
A, no tak. Tak, zdecydowanie. No,
To się nie wcinały do toku?
dokładnie tak. No,
Bo nie masz
Efiksy.
przypadkiem może jakimś cudem przejściówki z jacka na mini jacka?
już jedną wykorzystałem, tak. Tu jest. Co potrzebujesz?
Sprawdzić, czy jest wyjście na tym kanale.
No to słuchawki, hello. Tak, tam jest przejściówka. Ale mamy ją tylko dlatego, że wziąłem całe swoje pudło audio. No,
To i twoje pudła.
no hello.
Też mam pudło Audi i jest znacznie mniejsze.
No. Widziałeś kiedyś
Nie mają.
zawartość mojego pokoju? Się muszę fotkę wystawić. Ale możemy puszczać teraz. Raz, dwa, trzy QW, raz, dwa, trzy QW. Raz, 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 dwa, trzy QW. Raz, 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 dwa, trzy QW. Kurde, ile razy mogę mówić to samo hasło? Tak, dokładnie. Tak? No to git. Dobra. Tak, jasne. Jasne, czaję. Natomiast na słuchawkach sprawdzaliśmy, tu było git generalnie. Tak, raz, dwa, trzy, raz, raz. Raz, dwa, trzy QW.
Sygnał do nich, to na razie jest lepiej.
Tak, jest lepiej. Dobra, super, dzięki. Raz, dwa, trzy QW. Oj. Raz, 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 dwa, trzy. Raz, dwa, trzy QW. Raz, raz. Raz, raz. Raz, dwa, trzy.
It's on. Yep, I turned it on. Is it working? Do we have sound? Just say when, okay, Jan? Just say when. Are we live? Yeah, okay. And good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the place where it's all happening this weekend. We are on the actual Marsyard of the 10th edition of the European Rover Challenge. So this morning we saw one of the three elements that make up this event here in Krakow this weekend. We saw the International Space Conference with a lineup of speakers that talk about space exploration in the widest sense. This morning we talked about topics as wide as AI, as diversity in space, the future of space exploration, the far future of space exploration. And during this weekend, we'll see topics on Mars exploration, lunar exploration, Earth observation, navigation, telecommunication, everything relevant to space. Then we have an exhibit, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. And of course, as I said, this is where it all happens. This is the Marsyard. This is a little piece of Mars on Earth where teams are competing for the 2024 European Rover Challenge Awards, which we will see awarded this Sunday. So stay with us for the next 3 days where we switch between the conference and the Marsyard to tell you about everything that is going on here. And here in the Marsyard, I will talk to special guests to talk about, again, what's happening behind me, but also other topics relevant to the space sector. And for that, I would like to introduce my first two guests joining me from the, let me see if I get this right, the European Union Office for the Space Programme.
Well, actually, European Commission.
From the European Commission and
working with the European Union.
Working with USPA. Okay, very well. Well, welcome very much, Irene Sanchez-Cibrian and David Jelinek.
Thank you.
You represent a program called Cassini, a program by the European Commission to basically accommodate, facilitate new space in Europe.
That's it, exactly. So Cassini is our space entrepreneurship initiative. Why? Because we want to really turn Europe into a hub for space entrepreneurship. That's a top priority for the European Union, for the European Commission. And what we want to do is to really leverage this revolution in the space sector. This is what we are seeing, that there are more commercial actors, more startups, more new companies that are really revolutionizing the way we do space. Previously, a few years ago, it was only big companies or governmental programs, and now we are seeing companies that are starting basically from scratch. We are seeing this democratization of space, where more and more people can enter it, can access it, and we're seeing really this revolution. It's a reality that we are seeing more and more companies like this doing super interesting stuff, developing breakthrough technologies, leveraging synergies with other sectors as well, like really making things differently. And we want to really leverage that, and we want to really leverage this. I mean, this what we're seeing here today, all this young talent, all these new opportunities, all the enthusiasm and all those ideas. That's what we want to leverage with Cassini.
Well, exactly, and that's a key word that I always use in my commentaries on space. Space nowadays is about opportunity. Opportunity for students to participate in amazing competitions such as these, while in the meantime developing technology that is a good ground for startup companies. And we see the trend of more and more students and young people taking the entrepreneurship route. So David, I want to start with the beginning, and the beginning is in education. We see students here, mostly university teams, really on the brink of technological advance. How does Cassini support the education skills development side of new space?
So the skills is very important aspect of the new space emerging, because we have a lot of talent, but it's only it's not only about education, it's also about attracting and retaining the talent also in Europe, because there needs to be an ecosystem that is able to accommodate all the talent and to John? It's all good. Okay. And so we have a bunch of activities to make it possible for Europe to stay attractive for people. So first of all, we recently launched this matchmaking platform. It's called Space Girl Launchpad, where the point is really to attract students, but not only from with space background, because we think that with the emerging new space actors, there's a lot of possibilities for people with law background, with marketing, with business, and everything. So really, this is a place to be where they can apply for entry-level jobs and internships in space sector in European and with focus on startups and SMEs. So really to find first hands-on experience in the space sector and then to stay. But this is not the only thing we have currently. I will be also launching next year Cassini Space Camp, which will be targeted on a bit younger audience, on kids between 14 and 18 years old, just to sparkle the interest for them to follow vocation in the space sector. So this is really we want to target the whole spectrum, not only the education, but then also upskilling and reskilling with other activities we have, like we have the hackathons, but maybe we can mention it a bit later.
Sure, you mentioned a few things, a few opportunities for young people and students to get involved in Cassini. Where can people find that information? I'm going to ask you the same later on, but where can people find that the information?
So, this is really, if you Google Space Career Launchpad, it's where you can find this one. But also the Cassini.eu is our. Actually, this week there was a bit of redesign of the webpage, so it's brand new, shiny, very nice. So really go to Cassini.eu, where, but I mean, now I answered also for Iran, but it's really a place where you go for all of these opportunities.
Excellent. So this.
Follow us on social media. We have a EU Space page on LinkedIn. We're also active. DigiDefis, which is the department where we work, is active as well on Twitter. So you can look us up as well. There we promote all these opportunities as well.
Okay, excellent. So Cassini.eu and the Space Career Launchpad. Now let's move on a little bit to the innovation and entrepreneurship side that you already introduced. What is it that Cassini really does for entrepreneurs, taking them by the hand from the very first step up until, I don't know, it becomes...
Up to the stars. I mean, really,
Yeah.
the sky is not the limit
Exactly.
anymore. So really, and it's what you just said. With Cassini, what we're trying to do is to cover the whole entrepreneurial cycle. So from idea generation to scale up. Well, even before idea generation, because we're really sparking the interest since childhood. So really, we want to have like this full spectrum. So we start with the skills now, and then well, we have the Cassini hackathons that maybe David can elaborate a bit more on. No, that would be like the next, the first step, so to say, for idea generation. If we want to,
Exactly, this is really the first thing what's happening. I mean, one of the very concrete opportunities that the people can now get their hands on. So there is a Cassini hackathon happening every semester. The next one will be actually next weekend, starting from Friday, ending on Sunday. And it's usually around 10 different locations around Europe, not only in the EU, but also some other countries. So this is a bit happening next week. We have every time we have a hackathon, there is a topic. The next one is on environment and green transition. There's usually a challenge, and it's important to say that you don't really need to be a data specialist. Really, we want to attract a different kind of profiles, all kinds of profiles actually. You just come to the location, you find yourself a team. It's important to have like an idea what you want to do, but still it's connected to this mentoring, where we provide a lot of okay.
Is it working?
Yeah, is it working?
Yep.
Okay. Well, a little technical hiccup, but that's not a problem. So, yeah, I don't know. Well, the next Cassini hackathon will be next weekend. One happening in Poland, but as I mentioned, 10 different locations. People are very welcome to apply.
And these happen every semester, so every 6 months. So the next one can be expected in spring.
So this year we had little changes. So we have 2 hackathons actually happening quite close to each other. The next one will be actually in November.
Okay.
So and that will be focused on EU space for security and defense. There will be different kind of challenges opposed to what we have next week on environment and green transition.
Okay, but again, Cassini.eu is the place to go to find
Exactly,
all of this information. Excellent. So hackathons, what is the next step,
And then
Irene?
after we've come up with an idea, so to say, in the hackathons, the next logical step would be Cassini challenges. So Cassini challenges have these are a series of competitions with a price of in total it's over 1 million euros, so quite a sizable price. Of course, divided in different prices. But we have 3 tracks. One for ideas, so that's you don't need to have like a product or anything in place, just the idea. You can come straight from the hackathons and present your idea. Another track or step that is the prototype, and there you need to have something a bit more developed. And the third one, which is product, and that one is aimed at entrepreneurs that already have a concrete product or service in the market. So that would be one of the actions.
And the awards are quite significant, aren't they?
They're quite significant. So in total, it's as I said, over 1 million. For the product track, it's 100K for the winning, and we select 5 winning
100K.
solutions. So
That is an amazing
it's quite a lot.
opportunity.
And even for the ideas, which the price is a bit lower, it's already 15K, I think, and we select
Wow.
15. So
Okay.
it's there's big chances. It's quite competitive because we have lots of interested people, but it's a great opportunity really for everyone. And then maybe going on the later stage, so to say, Cassini also, its purpose is to facilitate access to finance to companies that already exist, no, or to entrepreneurs that want to develop their business in space, because we really see that sometimes startups in the space sector need to seek finance somewhere else because there's not enough. Some investors still see space as something that's like very risky, like going to sending things to the moon.
Exactly.
It is,
And the
but
venture
also-
capital world in Europe is, let's say, in development.
Exactly. So, but we are seeing that this is changing. Like this mentality is really changing, and in part it's thanks to Cassini, because we're really doing a lot of effort to promote that space. Okay, it's space exploration, but it's also down to earth. There are so many applications and there are so many projects that it's almost as safe as investing in real estate, practically. That's what we're trying to see. So we're deploying a 1 billion facility.
That's an interesting statement. I like it. I will copy that.
That's already
Space is as safe an investment as real estate. Let's just
It is.
repeat that because that's quite powerful.
And so we're deploying this 1 billion Cassini facility. That's already through our European Investment Fund to provide funding to VC funds that are interested in investing in space. So that's one thing. And then we organize matchmaking events where we try to put in touch investors with companies. We try to go to 10 events per year, more or less, trying to go to events like this one or more deep tech events where we try to really put together the whole European space ecosystem so that it can really emerge and thrive.
And what you say is important because you don't just go to space conference where you meet the same people over and over again. You really reach out to those application areas or those pools of technology that might be interested to maybe spin into space.
Exactly, and this is super important because sometimes space is not a niche sector anymore.
No.
It's a sector that touches everything. It's really so horizontal. It's transversal to many areas in the economy. We're talking about cybersecurity, for example, super important for the space sector. We're talking about the many applications that it has for agriculture, for maritime traffic, for aviation. It's really, and sometimes investors don't realize that those are down-to-earth applications that really have so much potential. So that's really something that we try to promote a lot as well. We also do capacity buildings with investors as well to try to show them that there's a business in space.
Right, because they need to be educated as much as perhaps the potential entrepreneurs.
Yeah, exactly.
And as we said, in Europe this is in development, so this is important. Again, there's your real estate statement. That is
Exactly.
that is a way to maybe create some interest with venture
we're really
capitalists.
seeing this change of mentality that these investors that previously were only investing in software, like something like and now they're venturing more and more into space.
So is that the end of what Cassini does? Is kind of hand over entrepreneurs to the VCs and traditional funding, or
So just to add to this spinning, there's also USPA Space Academy Learning Platform, which is a great way how to discover what the space offers. So it's free for everybody. Really, you just need to register, and then it's accessible. And then there are different modules, starting from basics of space, starting with satellite navigation and Earth observation, going into, for example, law, going into marketing and everything. So there is a lot of interesting information for those who probably are not very familiar with what space is and would be interested in knowing more.
So what is the target audience? Is it really anyone interested in either learning about space, investing in space, creating a startup in space, having a career in space? Is it really that broad?
Exactly. This is really that broad, and also the curriculum is not so straight. So you can really choose the modules which are relevant for you. You don't have to follow the whole course. But I think it's still very interesting, because I did it myself when I started in the space sector, starting from, as I said, satellite navigation and Earth observation, and then going into how the teams are formed, and again, how to get finance, etc. So it's really for everybody, and I'm very sure that everybody can find something there. And it's also being expanded now with security and cybersecurity modules.
So very much like what you were saying, this is expanding across dimensions. Very last question, where can people find information about the Space Academy?
It's really, again, Google EU Space Academy, and the first
and you'll
link,
find it.
is
Okay.
there.
And for everything else, Cassini.eu. And for everything else about what's going on here in Krakow this weekend, we have a hashtag on social media, hashtag ERC 2024. And of course, but you're already on the live stream, everything you want to know, roverchallenge.eu. That's it for me now. We go into commercial breaks, and we'll be back in about 5 minutes. I'll see you then. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, now I hope they switched.
dźwięku, raz, dwa, trzy.
Can anyone hear us? Or are we talking into a black hole here?
Dźwięku, raz, dwa, trzy. Test dźwięku, raz, dwa, trzy.
We're doing our best.
Best.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1.
Can anyone hear us? Maybe not. We are waiting for the green light from our producer, and we are given the green light. Yes, we are working. Okay, so welcome back everyone to the Marsyard. We're having a few technical glitches here, but hey, this is the first day. I promise you that after our lunch break, everything will be perfect. We are going to talk about something very different now, here from the exhibit area. One of the exhibitors is with me here, Mr. Marcin Fiedler of ARP e-Vehicles, and we're going to talk about that big vehicle that is behind us. Marcin, can you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit more about what an electric bus company is doing at the ERC?
Hello, my name is Marcin Fiedler and I'm sales director in ARP e-Vehicles. We are a producer and manufacturer of PILA zero emission buses. Zero emission, that means buses with electric and hydrogen drive. We are manufacturing also hybrid buses which are equipped in two drives, electric and hydrogen. We are the owner of the whole technology because the designs and projects was made by our Polish engineers in our factory about 6 years ago. Now we've got 3 models of buses, 8, 10 and 12 meter buses with different zero emission drives. We are the first producer in the world which made a bus with battery system under the floor, in the bottom. It is a huge innovation because our competitors have batteries on the roof. Our buses, thanks to that, are more stable. Thanks to the lower point of gravity, are more stable on the street, on the road, especially in the bends, in the rounds. They has higher ranges because the total weight of the bus is lighter. And the second thing is that we've got the first bus in the world which is hybrid bus with 2 types of zero emission drives. I mean electric and hydrogen. Our buses with hybrid drive are made and are based on electric bus, and the fuel hydrogen cell is an additional element which is some kind of extender, and it takes additional about 300 kilometers of range, but the most important element is that our buses, our hybrid buses, are completely flexible. You can use it as a traditional electric bus. Charge it from the typical socket, or you can use it as a typical hydrogen bus. And the second thing is that additionally it has about 600 kilometers, which range is absolutely unbeatable in electric and hydrogen buses, because the typical has about 300 kilometers. The last thing is that that are absolutely zero emission buses. So we've got no exhaust gases. We've got no noise emission. So they're also very safety. We've got GSR safety systems on board. So we can take the best world trends in the electric sustainable city buses.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for your introduction of the bus. If you want to know more information, you can Google ARP e-vehicles. I'm sure you'll find the website where people can find more information about this innovation. It's interesting that we talk about buses, about ground transportation at a space event, but a lot of the technology used in electric buses was invented at events like these, is invented by innovative people like the students here that work on electric vehicles, on electric propulsion for other planets.
I can add that our bus, the first prototype, was designed by very young designers. They were about 5-6 years after their studies on the Polish technical universities, and they make their project, this whole design, as a very young team, the same like here on this event, as we see young people which take cosmic technologies.
Exactly, and that's an important point that you mentioned, because one of the things that the ERC, the Rover Challenge, is being used more and more for is not just to develop technology, but also to scout talent. Talent for innovative companies like yours is getting more and more difficult to find, and this is the place where you find the best robotics, engineering, computing technology, propulsion technology, electric technology, all these different, hydrogen technology, all these different types of technology in one spot. So what we see is actually quite a few companies looking for that talent. When they win the Rover Challenge here, that should be a trigger for companies like yours to look at who these people are and try to bring them into the company.
Yes, we try to take young talents. Our company is placed in Bydgoszcz. It's in central Poland. We've got the Bydgoszcz Technical University there. So every summer we take the best students of the mechanical and electrical units from this college for us to take them some kind of experience, and they have and they gave us their new look and their new new look on the technology.
Exactly, exactly. And technology is what this is all about. You can find information about this bus. I said it before and I'll say it again, at ARP e-vehicles. So not just to look at buses, but also to look at perhaps internship opportunities at this company. And again, this is a good example of what we see here at the exhibit, of companies that are on the brink, on the edge of new technology, that are showcasing here not just their products, but also the opportunities for the people here who are visiting. If you have the opportunity to visit us in Krakow this weekend, you want to have a look at that bus, you want to have a look at the competition, you want to have a look at the exhibit, you want to join the space industry conference that's happening, please join us here in Krakow, either today, tomorrow or Sunday. We're going all the way till the end of Sunday. Follow everything under hashtag ERC 2024, and of course here on the live stream and on the key website roverchallenge.eu. Thank you very much, Marcin, for your time and for bringing this amazing vehicle to the Rover Challenge, and I'm really looking forward to seeing the next version of this bus at the ERC next year. So thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
We are not leaving you. We are moving on to the next topic, which is taking place right next to us, which is one of the parts of the rover competition, and that is following in the footsteps of something that is happening on Mars right now, or better said, that was happening on Mars until very recently, and that is flying drones. And inspired by the NASA Perseverance rover and the Ingenuity drone, since last year there is a drone element in the rover challenge. So not only do we see planetary rovers roaming the Marsyard, we also see flying drones here in the tent next to me, and that is where we will be moving next. So I am looking to see if we can find a representative of this challenge, and perhaps we can turn the camera a little bit and focus on what's happening in this area here. And I will stay here, but what you can see behind me is an enclosed area under a roof with a net where this drone test, the drone task is happening. So all the teams that participate in the European Rover Challenge are bringing a drone to perform scientific tasks like the Ingenuity drone did on Mars. Unfortunately, the Ingenuity drone died very recently in the Jezero crater on Mars, but here they are very much alive and kicking. So we're looking at, and I see someone approaching us. Okay, if you can stand here. I just introduced what's happening here in the tent. This drone task. I think the drone task was new last year and has been extended quite significantly this year. So Pavel, what can you tell us about the drone task in the European Rover Challenge?
All right, so first of all, I'm not sure if you can hear. Okay, so first of all, yeah, I wasn't involved in the task last year. I only saw it from from afar, you know, so I observed it. But last year, as far as I know, teams only basically just flew around like manually around the perimeter and took some photos. This year, since that was still, you know, still quite new, and this is the first time we as ONT are involved in helping with this task, we still wanted to give teams some leeway. That's why we still allowed teams to perform the task manually, but we encourage the teams to perform it in autonomous mode, and you know, because like 40% of the scoring for this task is for the autonomy. So far, most teams tend to be like rather, you know, safe, and first at least they want to try in the manual mode, but after that, some of the teams already have tested the autonomous solution, and some really cool stuff already. Yeah.
Excellent. So what exactly is the task? In the tent, you can't see it on camera, but in the tent we see these QR code-like things. What is the challenge here?
So here the challenge seems relatively simple because the drone needs to take off, fly to a designated point that is already, the position of the point is already known, but also there is a marker that helps the drone navigate and, you know, find the point. And there it takes the photo. Okay, closer.
Oh.
No, okay. Oh, okay. It's that. So.
It's on now. Okay. Only one works.
Okay. That's why. Yeah. The drone takes off, goes to the first waypoint where it takes the photo. Then it goes to second point where it has to land. Then take off again, go to the third point where it takes the photo again, and then come back to the starting point where it lands. So the task seems simple, but well, that's still there is a still challenge, especially if the teams want to develop their own drone. You know, and even though the task seems simple, the work behind the scenes to get it done, especially if someone wants to try in autonomous mode, it's still quite challenging. Yeah.
Okay, excellent. Well, thank you very much for that explanation. So all the teams have drones here, and it's now an integrated part of the challenge. Is that how I see it correctly? Excellent. So This is not the only task. This is one of many different tasks. And what we're going to see in the course of the next couple of days here at the ERC, when we talk to jury members and to organizers, we will see all the different tasks that these teams have to perform. And we will see that participating in the European Rover Challenge is really not that simple. And also to say something that I should have said way before, the European Rover Challenge is a rover challenge in Europe. It is a global rover challenge, so we have teams from all over the world. Can you tell us a little bit about the variety of teams? I see a team from India that's going to walk into the frame, but where do the teams come from?
Yeah, well, as far as I can tell, majority of the teams still come from Europe, but then most of the non-European teams are from like Asia or Southeast Asia, but we had some visitors last year, and I believe they were invited this year, a team from Japan that was also interested in participating. But as far as I know, yeah, it's mostly so far Europe, and then the Asian region. We are still yet to see an American team, for example, but maybe someday.
Yeah, excellent. And that's why I mentioned this, because this is really a call to all the rover teams around the world who might be watching this. This is a rover challenge in Europe. So we would really like to invite teams from all over the world to have a look at the website roverchallenge.eu and see if you can participate. Well, this year is a little bit late, but next year. And the qualifications actually start almost straight after this event ends. So if you're interested from anywhere in the world, it's also not a given that if you register for this event, there is a pre-competition, correct? Not all teams make it. Is there anything you can tell us about that?
Yeah. I could maybe add a little bit about what you said about the thing that the qualification for next year starts almost right away, and it's true, but it actually goes quite a bit into the new year, so there's still quite a lot of time, but you can start already right after this. And then, yeah, the first part of the process of the qualification is more like theoretical, where you describe and well, basically you how should I say that you claim that you are going, do this and that. You describe, for example, what's your plan, and as far as I know, there are some quite rigorous like rules or like requirements in place for the rover, especially. So it's yeah, quite a bit of work, quite a bit of detailed technical description, documentation of your work, and so on. So it's on one side it is challenging, but on the other hand it's a very valuable lesson, because it really tests you if you can actually prepare your solution to the higher standard that it can actually, it could one day land on Mars.
And one key word you mentioned is the highest standard. This is a rover challenge that uses the most realistic Marsyard in the world. It includes new scientific finds, and we'll talk about that during this live stream with other people in the organization about how exactly that works. But the latest findings in Martian science are applied in the Marsyard here every year. So the Marsyard is different every year. The challenges are different. And this is one of the changes that were made based on something that happened in reality. And that is the nice thing. It is very challenging. It is the highest level, and it is the latest in Martian technology. So we're going on a lunch break now. We're going to cut it off for now. We'll be back at 2 o'clock Polish time. We're going for lunch now, and if you want to follow everything, again, on your favorite social media channel, #ERC2024, all information on roverchallenge.eu. My name is Remco Timmermans. I will be guiding you through everything that's happening here on the Marsyard. So for now, we're going to switch back to background information, and we'll see you in a little bit. Thank you very much for your attention, and we'll see you this afternoon. Bye-bye.